This is our next video in a series of push mower repair. I bought this mower for more than I usually do. I paid $50 for this mower. But one of the reasons I bought it is I just like this style. It kind of reminds me of one I used to have about 20 years ago. The deck and everything. It's a Murray, but Craftsman also made mowers that looked a lot like this. They have this kind of a discharge chute, and there's a little mulch plate under there that clips into place. And I'm going to call this mower Ophelia. That's the next one in line. And there's several things wrong with Ophelia. If you try to pull the engine brake on, it's locked. And if you guys run into one like this, I strongly advise against forcing this, where you push down and think, well, if I just push hard enough, I'll free up that rust inside this cable and it'll move. Well, what often happens is you bend this and break it, and then you've got to replace the handle or come up with some other way to create an engine brake. So I'm gonna take this off and replace this cable or create some other kind of kill switch. The main thing that I see that's wrong with this mower is if I look under here, and I always recommend, if you're gonna tip a mower, to tip it backwards like that. And I think you can see the blade is just completely twisted. So they hit something super hard. And so I'll have to check the flywheel key and see if the crankshaft has been bent. So there's definitely some issues with Ophelia. I had to lubricate her rear adjusters, the wheel adjusters, to get them to adjust, and so now they do. She's missing, I think, a little part that fits right here, because I sort of remember that from my old Craftsman, and I've worked on so many mowers over the years that this is my little collection of these. So I'm going to be putting one right there that holds this cable in place, and it's going to slip over that and then loop around that cable. So we'll do that. We'll check the blade and see what damage has been done inside this mower. I took a glance at the air filter. What's left of it is pretty torn up. Let me set the camera down and we'll look at it together. Gotta get my gloves on for the dirty work. Hang on a second, let me get this where it's a little taller. Okay, I think that may be a little better for trying to see. So let's get this air cover off and look and see how bad it is. If I remember right, there's no fuel in here. Let's check that again. I think I just had a bug drop in there. Anyway, there's no fuel in there. So let's look at the air filter. Pull up on this tab right up here and pull down, and that is all that's left of it. It's decomposing. Let me get my trash can, because this thing is probably going to just completely fall apart. I'm going to pull it out. Get something to catch that. This is going to make a mess. Hold on a second. See if this will sort of help a little bit. And to clean the decomposing air filter out of here. Anyway, that's what happens to these over time, is they just decompose. So that will have to be cleaned up. That's the inside of the air filter cover. Maybe hit that with a toothbrush a couple of times, or some kind of a brush. Knock the big chunks out of there. I don't often see these primer bulbs damaged so much that they don't work, but that one may be, because I noticed it's kind of compressed right in the center. I don't see any signs yet that somebody's gone into this carburetor to try and do anything to it, which is a plus. I haven't seen any black widows yet. Doesn't mean they're not up in there. Okay, that's looking a little better. So I think the next thing I'm going to do, I'll leave the blade on for now and check the flywheel key, because I think it's going to be, I'd be shocked if it wasn't sheared after the degree of the hit that this machine took. The other thing I could do is well, first, okay, let's just take the cover off. We're going to check the flywheel key. So I'm going to 5/16 socket for that. See what's under this rewinder. This is a modern Briggs engine, 140cc, what they call a Briggs 500 series, and that's because it has 5 foot-pounds of gross torque. They don't, with the modern ones, they don't do horsepower anymore. Those Briggs got in trouble for that, claiming horsepower that really wasn't there. Maybe some critters under there, so gotta be careful. Let me get these screws out of the way. I'm gonna turn this thing over and look. Let's see if we've got any black widows or whatever. Oh yeah, they got some. There's been some critters up here at one time. There's some kind of a spider nest egg sac right there. Get that off of there. That's got to come out. Anyway, this is looking pretty nasty. Turn this towards the light where I can see a little better. Again, I'm just looking for things that are gonna bite me. There's one little spider that could get me. Doesn't look too unfriendly, but you never know. So he's history now. Let's see what's over in this corner. Okay, that's cleaned up a little bit. Let's put that over this way. There's a lot of dirt around the crankshaft nut, the nut that goes on what they call the starter cup. So let's clean that out so I can at least get to it with my impact wrench. Run this screw right around here a couple of times. There's some kind of wildlife down there crawling around. Some earwig. There's him over there. Okay, I think I've got enough clear it out before I put my impact wrench on there and get that nut off. We're going to look at the flywheel key. Came off pretty easily. Now you lift the starter cup up, and wow, the flywheel key looks like it might be okay. I don't know. Let me get a wire brush and get some of the crud away. I'll know it better. This thing bumped a little. Let me look at it. Yeah, it's been bumped enough to where I think I need to take it off and either turn that key over or you guys are probably getting bored with this, but I just think it's real important. So let me get something I can point with, like this knife right here. That edge right there, get really close. That edge right there of that flywheel key needs to be over, not much, but right there. It's just very fine, but I like these things to be perfect. But I tell you what, that's not too bad. But it's definitely been bumped, probably from the impact. I was expecting it to be worse. All kinds of pine needles and crud down in here. I'm going to go ahead and check to see if I've got compression on this mower before I invest a lot of time into it. And I need to get the spring off. And so I have a handmade tool for that. Gotta find it. There it is. This is just a full cord handle with a clothes hanger wire with a loop on the end, so it's strong enough to grab the end of that spring and disengage it. Let me show you how I do that. So for me to turn this wheel and see if I've got compression, the brake cable's frozen, so I can't get the brake off. The only way to do that is to take this spring off. And so you look under here and find the open end of the spring, which is right there. Then you pull towards you and down. And that spring, which is really powerful, is now disengaged. So this brake will now move out of the way like that, see? So the brake is off and move out of the way. Now I'm going to turn this and see if I've got any compression. Oh yeah, see that snap right there? That's very good compression. So that's a positive. All right, we're going to take a break on this video, and when you come back, we'll be continuing our work to try and get this pretty good looking mower back to life.